As part of efforts to make sure that the level of unemployment in the country is reduced to the barest minimum, stakeholders in the micro, small and medium enterprise sector have converged on Abuja for the National MSME Summit to chart a way forward for the development of small-scale businesses in the country. Speaking at the event, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo said that statistics shows that in most cases the problem with the sector is not always about funding as been speculated, but that the framework to access these funds that have been made available is an issue which he promised that this administration will tackle from an informed point of view.
That this is the most important sector of our economy. And the reason why it's the most important sector of our economy is obvious. It simply engages the largest numbers of people, and especially in the commercial space. But a lot of the talk and a lot of the discussions, appear to merely restate the problems, and the problems are very many. But somehow we've been short on the solutions, short on how to really open up this space such that entrepreneurs, such as those we have seen just this morning, are able to access finance, are able to run their businesses in a manner that benefits not just themselves, but that benefits the nation. But it's not because there is no finance. But the question, of course, is who gets these funds? But it appears that the opportunities, are there. But those who need to access the opportunities are also there, but there is just no connection, or it is extremely difficult for them. I think it's very important going forward that all of us in this sector, especially those of us on the government side, it's important that we must sit together and work out a way by which we are able to actually measure all of these deliverables.
In her remarks, the Minister of State for Trade, Industry and Investment, Hajia Aisha Abubakar, said the ministry and the agencies concerned are doing everything possible to make sure that the bottlenecks associated with accessing funds is taken care of by diligently reviewing the development programs and synergy between the agencies.
Today, we are taking another bold step in enhancing our nation's economic development in the MSE subsector. I am confident that the outcome of this summit will not only provide a roadmap for shaping the future of SMEs in Nigeria, but assist government to design immediate intervention strategies that will enhance the competitiveness of our MSMEs. This is to reaffirm the administration's determination to remove all bottlenecks inhibiting the performance of our MSMEs.
On his part, the Director General, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency, Smedan Bature Umar Masari, restated that things will be done differently under this administration. He also used the medium to call for the creation of a special bank for MSMEs in Nigeria to make access to funds an easy task.
With this very important summit, it will mark the commencement of the implementation of the solutions. And that is why we are highly hopeful that going forward, with the support and leadership of the Vice President, who is the Chairman of the National Council on MSME, Nigerians will begin to see a remarkable departure from the past by providing the needed leadership in addressing challenges afflicting MSMEs in Nigeria. The funds are there in the banks, but that lacuna has prevented Nigerians over time from accessing the funds. But with the leadership that is going to be provided by the leadership of the National Council, definitely we'll begin to see an amelioration of the problems which we have been facing in the past. We are calling for the establishment of an MSME bank because the MSME subsector in Nigeria is so huge. Sector boasting over 37 million MSMEs should not be allowed to compete for funds with large enterprises.
The summit with the team Entrepreneurship for National Development and a sub-team, the place of MSMEs in the economy under the change agenda, had different sections aimed at doing justice to small and medium-scale businesses in Nigeria. High point was the conferment of awards to some selected entrepreneurs by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. From Abuja, I am Festus Ejiroga Nefifen for Ben Television.
The National Working Committee of All Progressive Congress has unveiled Yaya Bello as the replacement for the late Prince Audu Abubakar ahead of supplementary election slated for Saturday in 91 polling units across Kogi State. It will be recalled that Yaya Bello was runner-up in the APC governorship primary. In a chat with journalists at the APC National Secretariat in Abuja, Yaya Bello said he accepted the party nomination in good faith.
I have been chosen to be a replacement for him. That is the decision of the party, and we all respect it. I won't say much other than to say I thank all of you for all the cooperation and understanding you have shown to me and to the party all this while.
The party also announced that Honorable James Abiodun Faleke will be Bello's running mate, the offer which he has rejected.
And I personally noted that my name, of course, must have been submitted to INEC as deputy governorship candidate to pair with Alhaji Yaya Bello. And I told the national chairman clearly in clear words that, Mr. Chairman, I had submitted a letter this morning distancing myself from that decision. And on no ground will I want to be associated with the decision of the party to pair me with Alhaji Yaya Bello, because I am already governor-elect. And I also told them that, Mr. Chairman, for us as a family, a Kogi State political family, we are not taking part in that election. My name cannot be submitted because I was not even consulted in the first instance. And a governor-elect cannot then become another deputy governorship candidate. We have said it clearly, and I want to make it very clear, that Alhaji Yaya Bello did not take part in all our campaign processes, and we are only contesting election in 91. That's what INEC want to do. They want to conduct election in 91 polling units out of 2,548 or thereabouts polling units. And we have made it very clear, if they go ahead to conduct election, because I have pulled out, that election will be challenged in the court of law.
Faleke also stated that plans are underway by his team of lawyers to challenge the Independent National Electoral Commission in court over November 21st, 2015 Kogi governorship election, which was declared inconclusive by INEC.
We championed there was for the party to go to court and challenge INEC. And Mr. Chairman told us directly right away, without considering it twice, that the party will not go to court. And since the party is not going to court, we have taken it upon ourselves our right to defend ourselves in court, and we are challenging that decision.
Muyiwa Badele reporting from Abuja.
Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Joe Gazama, has advised legal practitioners to build a sustainable institution rather than individual. Speaking at the third Abuja section on Legal Practice Conference on a theme, Emerging Trends in Law Practice and Management, Gazama explained that some law firms are no longer functioning because they were built around individuals.
It's to you as a person, not to the chambers. Oftentimes, you find that when somebody dies, that practice goes completely to the person. Like I said, where is Rotimi Williams' practice now? It's no longer there. So the question that we need to answer, what will happen to your practice when you are no longer there? What is your ambition? I think your ambition now is to establish a practice that can survive you once you are not there. So we should build institutions, not just individuals.
Also speaking, Abubakar Mahmood, SAN, harped on the need to take advantage of information technology to boost service delivery to their clients.
And I must say that technology is extremely important. It's doing several things, not only in the legal field, but in many other areas. Some of them disruptive, but that's what makes the change happen. So any law office now that intends to survive must have a clear strategy for dealing with technological innovations. And in case, you just have to go and find a good law library. Those days are gone. You can access any library now almost remotely from your offices. And you need to have those platforms. So in terms of access to legal resources, but then also access to your own services, technology is now a game changer.
Osam Raffle, Ben Television.
Suites, number 1 AMO Road off Apple Trail, GRA, Benin City, Edo State. Website www.prestigehotel.com.ng. Email info@prestigehotel.com.ng. Telephone number 070-620-84038, 081-519-74044. Prestige Hotel and Suites, world-class hospitality.
As part of effort to make agriculture more attractive and boost livestock production in Nigeria, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development has announced plans to embark on artificial insemination. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Audu Ogbe, made this known in Abuja when he received a delegation of Irish government officials on trade mission to Nigeria, led by its Minister of Agriculture, Marine and Defense, Sean Conveni. The minister said the ministry is open to learning and exchange of ideas with her Irish counterpart to establish further centers across the country.
There's a cattle breed problem. We need to improve the breed of cattle here. And so we're going to embark very seriously on artificial insemination schemes. We think in the coming year we'll start as a public-private partnership program, at least 200 centers across the country, north and south, east and west, because we need to improve the breed of cattle. We also need to create fodder fields up north, because cattle migration is creating new problems in the country which we want to avoid. The cattle are moving around from the north to the south because the desert is encroaching at 2 kilometers per annum.
Earlier, Irish Minister Conveni described Nigeria as the most exciting country in the world in terms of growth in population and agriculture.
Exporting to about 140 different countries now, food. But actually, I think what's exciting about the opportunities for Ireland and for Irish companies in Nigeria is not just the opportunity to export premium product here, but actually to develop real partnerships that can build capacity or help, I hope, to build capacity here in terms of food production and adding value. And certainly the meetings we've had to date very much have that in mind, because I know one of the priorities of the new government is to look at economic development outside of the oil sector and to build capacity here to feed growing populations in terms of agriculture and food production.
The minister also received delegations from the World Bank, who paid him a courtesy visit in his office. From Abuja, LM Chukwemeka reports.
The Senate has approved the supplementary budget of President Muhammadu Buhari, increasing it from 465 billion naira to 574 billion naira to cover the fuel subsidies claims. While presenting the supplementary appropriation bill on Thursday plenary, Danjuma Goje, chairman of the Senate Committee on Appropriation, explained that initial amount budgeted for the settlement of the subsidy claim only covered the period from January to September. He said it was important to include October to December in the budget in order to avert fuel scarcity.
The bill seeks to, among other things, make available additional funds for the fight against insurgency in the Northeast and the payment of outstanding subsidy claims in order to ameliorate the suffering of Nigerians. Legislative action. Considering the fact that the committee was mandated to report on the bill within 1 week, and also the fact that the bulk of the sum in the proposal is contained in the service-wide vote, the committee consulted with the leadership of the relevant subcommittees and ministries, departments, and agencies for their inputs and clarifications, respectively.
Taking the lead on the debate, the Senate leader Ali Ndume implored the Committee on Appropriation to investigate how funds in the budget will be spent.
It is very important for this time around, having passed this bill, for the appropriate committee, particularly appropriation, to not only oversight the disbursement to determine the authenticity of these payments. It is very important for the committee to look into each of the payment and make sure it is genuine and authentic.
Making his contribution, the Senate Minority Leader, Godswill Akpabio, asked the federal government to step up drive for total removal of subsidy so that the market force would determine the price of the product.
I believe that maybe from 2016, that part of the change that we will see with the current administration has promised all Nigerians will be the issue of addressing this subsidy issue once and for all. What I would have seen as true change would have been no subsidy at all, zero subsidy, so that we will allow the supply, the market to determine the demand. And at the end of the day, Nigerians will be spared the possibility of whether there is fraud or there is no fraud and all that. Because these things happen even in the 7th Senate and the 6th Senate. In other words, it happened in the former administration. Continuous demand for payment of huge sums of money as subsidies. And of course, when the 7th Senate exposed the fraud that was going on, all Nigerians were shocked. But right now, we are in a cul-de-sac. We are here as representatives of the masses. And we must look at the sufferings of the masses. And therefore, the request before us today has to do with stopping the continuous queues and the suffering that Nigerians are made to go through. So I would support this, the passage of this supplementary appropriation, which in reality is a law, and at the same time support what the leader said, that the Committee on Appropriation should also jointly sit with the relevant agencies of government during the payments to scrutinize and be sure that yes, indeed, that the payments are genuine.
The senators in the voice vote approved the supplementary budget as Senate President Bukola Saraki put it to vote.
No part of the amount aforesaid shall be released from the Consolidation Revenue Fund of the Federation after the end of the year mentioned in subsection 1 of this section. Those in favor of clause 1 as read say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 2. All amounts appropriated under this act shall be released from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation only for the purpose specified in the schedule to this act. Those in favor of clause 2 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 3. In the event that the implementation of any of the projects intended to be undertaken under this act cannot be completed without verment, such verment shall only be effected with the prior approval of the National Assembly. Those in favor of clause 3 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Approve the 2015 Supplementary Appropriation Bill. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Supply? Thank you. From the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation, the sum of 574,532,726,857 naira only for additional recurring non-debt expenditure for the year ending on the 31st day of December 2015. Third reading. The bill is now read the third time and passed.
Muiwa Bamdele reporting from Abuja.